A new survey, 1,200 adults in the United States, found 7 in 10 family caregivers don't want their aging parents to live with them. And even though most adults don't want their aging parents to live with them, many still find themselves in that situation because for a lot of families, it boils down to cost. Nearly half of Americans provides financial support for their aging parents or in-laws. Now, you couple that with the fact that a lot of these parents are also providing financial support for their adult children or teenage children, and you have what you call the sandwich generation, raising children while caring for aging parents. And that is a tough position to be in. Ron Glasgow is a financial strategist, heads up Glasgow Investment Solutions. He started his financial services career in 2001 after proudly serving our country in the Marine Corps. Ron, first of all, thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you very much. Like I always say, man, it's terrific what you're doing with vets. I got a lot more out of the Corps than the Corps got out of me as I did deploy. But, serve proudly, and thank you so much for what you're doing for our vets. It really, really need it.
Absolutely. I mean, I hold vets in the highest regard. You also know firsthand what I'm talking about here when I talk about the sandwich generation because you found yourself in the same position, did you not?
I did a couple times, actually. So, my dad was diagnosed with lymphoma and lung cancer in 2009, and that ultimately changed the course of my entire career to assist with that. And then just this last June, unfortunately, my mom passed after a long bout with dementia. So that, created a lot of hardship for the family. We were very lucky that we planned in advance, however.
Well, you're a financial strategist, and that's what I want to get to here because a lot of times these parents aren't able to put enough of their own retirement because of all the people they're helping out financially. So if you're helping out your kids, you're helping out your parents, this is a vicious cycle, Ron, because pretty soon you're going to need help yourself as time goes on.
It's absolutely the case. And the thing I tell everybody is you've got to have those tough conversations with your parents first. And look, my dad was born in 1938. My mom was born in 1940. They were part of the generation that just flat out didn't complain. I can still hear my dad saying, "Don't worry about it, boy." That was his answer when I was trying to ask him about long-term care and things of that nature. You've got to push through that, however, and really find out what their wishes are. I think a lot of people, including myself, think that their parents want to stay out of a home or they want to live with them, and it's really not the case. I was fighting tooth and nail to get my mom to come live with me when she was diagnosed with dementia. And it turns out it was a much better for her and her wishes to go and be in an independent living and then assisted living facility where she'd be around people her age and still interact. So having those tough conversations is the first step before you even get into the money.
Well, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's kind of the point I was making there. So.
Oh, okay. Well, let me ask you this. I mean, how do you know when it's time to put your oxygen mask on first?
Yeah, I mean, you want to do that as soon as you start seeing, aging. I mean, I'm 49 years old. I'm extremely healthy, and I have all of my paperwork in place, as does my wife. So I can't tell you how important it is to get the trust and the will, and that's for your possessions. But for your own personal health, it's so important to get that financial power of attorney, that healthcare power of attorney, and that living will. These things are very, very important to carry out your wishes. For example, my mother, dementia is the underlying cause, but no one really dies of dementia. She fell and punctured a lung. It was very much in her wishes not to be resuscitated, as harsh as that was for the family, as much as we wanted to see her revived. It was her wishes not to. The medical community is trained to save lives no matter what. So without that paperwork, we would have ultimately extended her life against her wishes and should have had a poor quality of life from that point until the ultimate passing. So get your paperwork in place early. It's never too soon.
All right. What about saving? I mean, you're a financial strategist. I'm sure you hear this from people all the time. Ron, how the hell am I supposed to save money when I am financially supporting my aging parents and I've also got kids that need help?
Yes, it's important. Again, once you have those conversations about what the wishes are, then you gotta lift the skirt, so to speak, and really look at what the finances are. How much money do your parents have? Do they have the money to support themselves? What's that drawdown rate? These aren't complex financial calculations. Anybody with a spiral notebook and a pencil and a calculator can kind of draft it out. Or if you need help, you come to a professional like me. But you really want to see, one, can your parents take care of themselves financially, whether that's living with you, whether that's in some kind of institution. That's the first step. When it comes to adult children, and I hate to be harsh here, you got to have some heart-to-heart talks. They're adult children. That means you shouldn't be spending a whole lot of money on them. Now, we all want to help people when they're down. We all want to help people get to that next level. But if taking care of your adult children is robbing you of your retirement, you really need to set them on a different path. And that's just real talk.
Well, when you look at the studies, Ron, it shows tens of millions of parents have found themselves stuck in the sandwich generation. So if tens of millions are stuck in the middle, what's that mean for the future?
It's tough. It's a very bleak outlook. I know 50% of people out there don't have a retirement account. People really don't realize what their finances are and how they're going to take care of themselves tomorrow. All the time I see people that confuse pensions with 401ks, two very different things. A pension is going to pay you the rest of your life. A 401k is only going to pay you until it's exhausted, and that's based largely on what you put into it. Also, that's a taxable account. So whatever comes out, you're going to lose 30 to 40%. So you really need to sit down and start penciling these things out. Like I said, you don't need to be an Excel guru. If you have a high school education, you should be able to do a basic framework of what it's going to cost to live in the future. Once you have that, and you're going to see that you're woefully short, you've got to get started. The time to get started saving was yesterday. Time is the most important factor when it comes to doing this because money compounds. I think Albert Einstein said it best. Man's greatest invention is compounding interest. Get that money working for you as soon as possible. If that's $50 a month, it's $50 a month, but get it started.
Yeah, and the other thing I saw, too, which was incredible, I think all of us incur 80% of our lifetime medical costs in the final 2 years of life. So if you don't save properly, you have a lot of issues. That's going to hit hard at the very end. And if you're taking care of parents, obviously that's going to fall on you.
Yeah, it really is. And it's a shame, but, I see even very well-to-do families that have to go into what's called the Medicaid spin down, meaning you basically bankrupt your parents in order for the state to step in and to provide some kind of support. And that's an awful thing, and we think, oh, it's never going to happen to me. And look, those medical expenses become enormous at the end. So when you're having those rough talks, you want to look at things like long-term care insurance. That's largely gone by the wayside, the old-school policies that were really comprehensive because the insurance companies realize they cost so much. But you can get some other hybrid policies. For example, my wife and I have a policy that if I die, she gets $250,000. However, if I need long-term care support, I can tap that $250,000 for that need. So there are other things you could do, but again, everything starts with planning. If you wait until somebody's sick, it's just too late.
All right, Ron, thanks for the insight.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, Ron Glasgow, financial strategist, heads up Glasgow Investment Solutions.